All right, so without any further ado, let me introduce our special guest today. We have the good people who bring us the Atlantic City Arts Foundation, the 48 Blocks Festival. We have Michael Atkinson and Tina. I don't want to butcher your last name. It's Naselli. How do you pronounce your last name, Tina?
Notaro. Notaro.
Notaro.
That's it.
Okay, so we used to have Taro, but now it's Notaro.
Notaro.
There you go. So, listen, rather than stumble through an inept introduction, I can tell you they're both good people. They're both friends of the arts. They both want to make sure that everyone in Atlantic City, of every background, of every neighborhood, of every persuasion, has a seat at the table for arts in Atlantic City. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the Arts Foundation, Michael Atkinson, Tina Notaro, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone's out there in Radio Land today. Raymond, thanks for having us on the show. I'm Michael Atkins, Executive Director of the Atlantic City Arts Foundation. Just want to give a brief overview, then I'm going to kick it to Tina over here as to what we got cooking up coming ahead in September. But you may know our organization, the Atlantic City Arts Foundation, for installing murals throughout the city. We proudly boast 102 murals. We're working right now through some reinstallations, refurbishments, and some new commissions coming up this year. Our other two major programs include Arteriors, the takeover of a commercial vacant space. We'll be planning that for November of this year. And what we're here to talk about and promote today is 48 Blocks. So this festival is coming up in September, and I'll let you talk about it, Tina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, hello to WLFR listenership. I'm so happy to be here in studio with Raymond for his show because I listen to this show all the time.
And I thank you.
And I love it. And I always love to hear the music
Came
that
in
you're
doing
playing.
dancing. I love it.
I know because I hear the mixes you're doing and now I get to see it happening live here in the studio. So you really cut together a lot of good stuff and it's a treat to be here to see it in person. So thank you, Ray. Thank you for having us. I'm Tina Notaro. I'm the program manager at the Atlantic City Arts Foundation. I have participated myself as an artist in 48 Blocks at 5 different festivals, at 5 different 48 Blocks festivals before I started here at the Arts Foundation as our full-time program manager. So over the years, this 48 Blocks has taken different forms, and generally what it is a chance for people in the Atlantic City area, whether they're creatives or artists, to submit projects that help present Atlantic City's creative spirit, whether that's art installations, activities, demonstrations, other events. 48 Blocks has been the container for that all to happen across the 48 blocks of Atlantic City. In previous years, this has taken place over either a week, a weekend, or a whole month at different venues throughout the city, in a sense to kind of like disperse the arts through every neighborhood. This year, however, we are taking a slightly different approach since as an artist I participated in 48 Blocks and had been in a lot of feedback meetings where a lot of times turnout was the biggest, I wouldn't call it a complaint, but it was always something we wanted to work on was turnout and getting people to come out to 48 Blocks. And the fact that it was so dispersed and at different times made it confusing for people or even inaccessible for them to make it to multiple events or activations. So this year, we are having 48 Blocks in one place at one time, and it'll be a full tilt celebration of Atlantic City's creative spirit featuring art, performances, and stories from all 48 blocks. This will be at Uptown Park and Fisherman's Park, where the new skate park is being built. We will use the beautiful shady grove of Fisherman's Park to activate 2 public parks and the street in between. My background in Atlantic City comes a lot from putting together special events, and also outside of Atlantic City I work for different music festivals and film festivals. So we're really trying to bring everyone together this year so that it really is able to show and showcase how much we have going on in one place. Yeah.
Well, I want to commend you both because it seems like my, I won't say complaining, but I'll say complaining.
Feedback.
My complaining. No, No, it's been a little bit stronger than feedback. Has finally found somebody who's paying attention, and this is what I've said, because I've actually done a 48 Blocks presentation over at the amphitheater. I don't even know if it's still there at Uptown over in Gardner's Basin. It's probably the same place you're thinking about. But always said that, you know, I don't have a problem with Ducktown and that area having arts, but I want to see the arts be celebrated and have a home on the west side, the north side as well, where it's accessible to people I grew up with. And I'll play the advocate to my own complaint. Atlantic City is only about 2, 3, 4 miles wide. I mean, if you really wanted to go to an event at Ducktown, you could walk if you wanted to. But I'm just saying, it does my heart good to see 48 Blocks being celebrated in a neighborhood where I could have walked to as a kid with me and my friends to go and check that out. And I would even, as somebody who is an advocate for the arts myself, I would even say it should alternate. Maybe one year at Fisherman's Park and then the next year at O'Donnell Park.
All feedback
Thoughts?
that we've heard through the grapevine and directly, and that's how we're trying to.
Oh, I said it directly.
I know, exactly. We heard you directly, but you know, there's two key components, right? So what we're underlining here from both Ray and Tina is calling on artists to participate at this location. Also, calling on the public to join us. Save the date of the 20th of September. Some folks out there listening right now might not be a practicing artist themselves, but want to show support to our vibrant arts ecosystem.
Right.
I think what makes it really special, whether you are a performing artist or a visual artist or you want to do something funky at this festival, we want the public to come and show their support as well. That's what's going to make it a really special day in the community that celebrates arts and artists in our community.
Right. And I'm going to talk directly to the artists right now. This is Raymond talking, not necessarily the views of the Arts Foundation, but I can say as an arts commissioner from the Atlantic City Arts Commission, I can say this. Artists who are booked on this program, invite your family, your friends, and your enemies to come out. Invite your enemies, invite your haters to come out and hate on you. They can hate on you live and in person. They don't have to watch it on live or TikTok. They can come to the to what's it called? The Fisherman Gardner's Basin or Uptown Park.
Yep.
You can come to Uptown Park. Oh, that's the one. That's the new park
Skate
they're
park.
building in by Uptown Complex.
Yes.
Okay, so you ain't even got to go all the way down to the basement.
Exactly.
You can go right to Uptown Complex, and if you hating on an artist, if you hate on me, if you think my mix show sucks, you can come and see me mix in person. That's if I pass the cut. You can come see me mix in person and tell me how much you hate my show. But come and tell me how much you hate the show, because we want to see you there.
Raymond, I so appreciate that you can even say invite your haters, because that is where we're coming from. Like, my intention with this is to bring everyone together, and it's about radical inclusivity. It's about radical participation. This is not just for artists. This is a free, public, family-friendly event in Atlantic City where you can bring your kids and your family and your friends and just be around your community, because that's what is absolutely necessary.
Can I share a quick story about why it's important to make sure that your haters show up too?
Yes.
Or if you're a hater, that you show up? Unfortunately, there was a gentleman by the name of Kevin Cheatham. And you know what? I should actually write a play in tribute to him. He is probably a name that you guys may not know, but in the 80s or early 90s, he was an important playwright here in the Atlantic City area. And he went on to work, in New York and all over the place. But a friend of mine who's also a DJ here, and his name is Sean Wright. If he's not listening, I'll give you his contact information. He has a show, The Soul Revival, on Sundays. You should probably try and come on his show as well. Anyway, long story longer, he took me to one of Kevin's plays, And I laughed through the whole thing. I talked about how bad it was while I was there at the play. But one of the reasons why I'm on the air now is because I said, well, wait a minute. This guy took and wrote a play, staged it, produced it, got actors to come out, had every seat in the house filled, and the only thing I could do was talk about him. If I'm going to talk about him, then I have to put something out there with my name on it and let people, because the easiest thing to do is hate on somebody when you're not doing anything. So if you're one of my haters, come on out, come hate on me, and tell me that you hate what I'm doing, and I will help you do a better show than mine. How about that?
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Talk to me about why you decided to, and again, this is not an inquisition, but tell me why you decided to make some changes to 48 Blocks this year, and what is your vision for 48 Blocks? I've been friends with two of the previous directors, and they did great jobs, and you've been filling some pretty big shoes. So, talk to me about Michael and Tina's vision for 48 Blocks.
Well, yeah, for folks unfamiliar, our organization's about 10 years old. To reach some of the milestones of the mural installations or the past programs, right, that's been on the shoulders of a lot of active people in and outside the organization to make them successful events. We just have that chance at about 10 years old, we're going through puberty, we're changing things up a little bit. We have a little bit of latitude and opportunity as new folks here to take what we've seen as participants and just attendees in organizational events and try to make an improvement or two, and to continue carrying the spirit forward of kind of like, to your point, Ray, of like folks, getting a foothold into doing something, and sometimes the excuse of producing something for an event is enough to kind of put some fuel in your tank to kind of continue your creative practice. Another really key thing, I just want to call this out for people, but when we are working with and negotiating the authority, the permission to install a mural, we get a lot of feedback from different businesses in Atlantic City that all say a certain universal thing, which is we need more and more opportunities for family-friendly events, accessible, free community events throughout the city. I'm not going to call out any names right now, but in my mind, I'm thinking of three folks who are in completely different directions in terms of what types of businesses they own or operate in the city. So we want to have a centralized event that brings the excitement of art terriers, what that is, in one building, into a public park space, and have a key public festival event. So that's kind of one of the key guiding principles for us, while still trying to have it remain inclusive, to allow for people who want to do commissions, installations, performances, etc., to find a way to bring their personality into the event, and so that it has a lot of variety and a lot of appeal to a lot of different types of folks in Atlantic City, because our diversity is our strength.
Right, and people don't realize how hard it is to sit in the big chair when you have to placate artists such as myself who have been established for more than 10 years versus, when I've worked with 48 Blocks, I've used it as a venue to bring artists who you don't know to the table, but you also do have a responsibility to give a platform to an artist whose prior work may have been, their last poetry reading may have been performing in front of their stuffed animals, and now you're putting them on a platform. It's not an easy thing to manage, but it's an important thing to manage. Could you talk about that a little bit?
I'll absolutely. I'll also call out one other key thing too, which is, we're talking with you right now, and it's 90-something degrees. I'm sure everyone listening is trying to get to the beach today. As a city, we want to make sure that we have events throughout the year. We want 48 Blocks to be a signature shoulder season event in the city of Atlantic City, something that people plan to either commission works for or make a trip outside of the traditional summer season. But yeah, that's, I think, again, a key element you touched on, which is, some artists are established and they're finding something that maybe be a completed work to plug into the event. Some folks are looking for the excuse to grow up into that opportunity and have a space to share their creativity, and we invite all of that.
Yeah, I'm proud to say that at one or two 48 Block events I've produced, that was almost like a coming out party for some artists that I knew of that the previous directors didn't know about. And there's no shade, because somebody is listening to this show right now is a hell of a DJ and I never heard of him before, or a hell of a poet and I never heard of him before. So you can't know everything or be everything to everybody. You can just do your best. And unfortunately, I guess when you do your best, or when you're doing it right, you are going to have some people who feel like, well, I should have been a part of it. And, only thing you can say is, we'll get you next year, or, next time. But I wanted to let you know that I acknowledge how hard it is to put something like 48 Blocks together. And to somebody who may be saying, well, it was a whole weekend before, or it was a whole week before. Listen, you could do 48 Blocks over 6 months. I've been to the National Black Arts Festival in Atlanta. It's a 2-week thing, and guess what? In 2 weeks, you still can't get to every event to see every single thing that they produce that's going on. So whether it's a day, whether it's a 2-week event, make sure that you have September 20th marked down on your calendar, and that you're there, and that you experience what you can experience and share what you can share. That's me talking.
Well, Ray, you said something that I wrote down a note, because I feel like so strongly about this, that you can't do everything, and there are people a lot of times already doing the thing, and instead of replicating it, invite them to the process. So this is something different this year as well, is over the last couple years I've worked with so many of these CDCs and EDCs in Atlantic City, the community development corporations, and one thing they do really well is bringing in social resources, community resources to their events.
Right.
48 Blocks, I don't think we've been able to do that before. So even from the start, incorporating community partners and social service resources as part of the festival footprint, so that we say it's not only just art, this is an event where you can come as anybody and find something that you might need or are looking for. There will be vendors, there will be community partners presenting what it is that they're good at. So why would we try to do everything when we know we can bring Raymond with Atlantic City Focus in to run his section of the festival?
Oh, that's
or
great.
I could name, I have all these names on a map, and as people are confirming, I'm able to say, okay, they get the vision, they get the thing, but there's, this year it's different because we're kind of front loading the festival with community groups that are already doing the thing, are already active, and are looking for the platform and the space.
Right. So I'm probably making this interview too much about me, so I apologize, and you guys check me if you have to. I once owned an art gallery called the Little Wellness Art Gallery. Shout out to my business manager, Cheryl, who came up with the name, and one of our focuses was not just to have an art gallery, but to have a space where artists could come and ask questions and get information about health insurance, mental health. The community could come in and get information about resources on where there were food giveaways and things of that nature. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact, as an artist, we'd be so busy out there arting. I know it's not a word, but we'd be so busy out there arting. A lot of times we're wondering how we're going to pay the rent. We haven't seen a doctor in 3 years. Our diet consists of 4 major food groups: candy bars, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, and Wendy's. So
you just gave me the perfect segue for an event I'm hosting tonight in a series this year called Make the Rent Mondays. It is an artist networking group, very informal, no programming. It's at Heyday on the last Monday of the month, which happens to be today, from 6 to 8. where it's
Tell
exactly.
us about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I've been
it's
meaning to drop by there. I didn't know that was you.
Yes, so the idea behind that, as you know, I titled it "Make the Rent Monday" because I kept getting the sense that we just need to get people all in the same room to figure out what's happening, what people need, what are your resources that you have, what are the needs that you have, where do you find the stuff. Just put artists all in a place where we can talk to each other and find out what our needs and what our challenges are. So there's very little programming. We don't do any like workshopping or anything. We kind of just all go to Heyday and I was gonna say a phrase that I don't think is appropriate for radio, but
okay, well, no.
But
please,
we hang out at Heyday.
Okay.
And make
it's a
connections.
great time. I'll say the same thing. I've gone just to support, and it's always, there's folks that you see regularly at other art events, and sometimes I gotta say that thing to Raymond next time I see him. So it's sometimes an excuse just to say, oh, you're saving me an email or a phone call. I was gonna tell you about this thing coming up in a week or two, or there's this opportunity. So it's definitely a high value event. Even if you're just trying to find information or spread information.
What time does it start?
6 o'clock at Heyday in Atlantic City on New York Avenue.
Okay, there you go. I don't know where you're going to park, but
That lot at Cardinal is
Okay.
low key a good spot. Yeah.
Okay.
There's usually parking.
Okay. All right. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to The Light, powered by AtlanticCityFocus.com, and we are here with Tina Notaro and with Michael Atkinson, and we're talking about the upcoming 48 Blocks Festival. But before that, before 48 Blocks and after Heyday tonight, you have...
We got 2 events coming up.
Okay.
One's the 20th of August. You want to take that one, Tina?
Yes, we have launched. I don't want to even call it launch, but we've been hosting seasonal arts mixers at Anchor Rock Club. So this is our summer arts mixer on August 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. And similar type of concept is let's just create a space where creative people and artists can get together, or supporters of arts, all in the same place. We do have vendors and exhibitors upstairs at Anchor Rock Club. If anyone is interested in participating in the vendor marketplace, there is no vendor fee. You can find the participation form on our website, AtlanticCityArtsFoundation.org/apply. It's another great opportunity just to put yourself in and around, like surrounded by creative people in Atlantic City.
Beautiful. I've done it. I've actually presented there before. I attended both of them. The last 2 you did, and I was a vendor or presenter or something.
Yeah, live art. You were doing some live art.
Yeah, I was doing some live art. And if you're listening and you have an event where I can come in and paint live, please let me know. I love to paint in front of an audience. Maybe perhaps 48 blocks too. You never know. But okay, so what else have you got coming up?
We've also got a really exciting concert, a benefit concert coming up for the Atlantic City Arts Foundation.
Okay.
Part of our DNA as the Arts Foundation is to activate spaces in Atlantic City with arts. We've been talking about doing that in a park. We're talking about doing that in commercial venues. We have an exciting concert coming up on the 23rd of August. Saturday, 8:30 p.m. at the Claridge Celebrity Theater.
Okay.
Very dear friend of mine, singer John Brancy, is going to be doing a bit of like Rat Pack classics, some classic Atlantic City gems.
He reached out to me. Is that how you got my contact information?
Well, you can always phone into the show, of course.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
He was in town last week. We had a nice little pop-up over at Birdcage, which has a wonderful Friday evenings. Kind of like piano bar situation led by the great Nick Myers over at the Boardwalk Hall Organ Restoration Committee.
Okay.
But yeah, this was the August 23rd benefit concert will help us raise funds for the Arts Foundation. Some of those funds will support stipends for artists at 48 Blocks and Arteriors. Tickets start at $30. It's an accessible event.
Okay. So, Chad, if you heard that, you didn't hear that, you can't